All right, today we're jumping into one of the single biggest challenges in AI right now. And it's not about just making AI smarter, it's about how we can actually prove they're getting smarter. It's a breakthrough. And it all boils down to one simple question. As these AI systems get almost unbelievably good, our old ways of testing them are completely falling apart. It's like trying to grade a PhD dissertation with a simple true or false quiz. The tools are just wrong. And that's become a massive roadblock for making any real progress.
For the longest time, we've graded AIs like a simple math test. We only cared about the final answer. You either got it right or you got it wrong. Simple. But this new way, it's a total game changer. It's not about the answer, it's about the entire thought process, every single step it took to get there. Because if you really want to know what an AI can do, you've got to see its work.
And look, this isn't some minor academic issue. Researchers from major labs like Meta AI and KUSD are saying this is a huge bottleneck. In their words, our old grading methods are, quote, dramatically slowing true progress. We've basically been stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, you have these automated tests. Yeah, they're fast and they're cheap, but they're incredibly shallow. They only check the final result. On the other side, you can hire human experts to review everything. But that's just painfully slow, it's super expensive, and as we're about to see, it's also shockingly inconsistent. So to try and crack this problem, the researchers basically set up a competition. They created a panel of 3 very different judges, and their job was to grade an AI agent trying to complete a really complex software development task.
Okay, so here are our 3 contenders. First, you've got the human as a judge. This is supposed to be our gold standard, right? The expert. Then you have the old automated way, the LLM as a judge, which is fast but only looks at the final answer. And finally, you have the new challenger, the agent as a judge. This is an AI that's specifically designed to act like an expert itself, carefully checking every single step of another AI's work.
Now, before this contest could even start, the judges needed a much better exam to grade, because the old tests, well, they just weren't cutting it anymore.
And this points to a really deep problem, which is summed up perfectly by something called Goodhart's Law. Basically, once you start grading something, people, or in this case AIs, will focus only on getting a good grade, not on actually being good at the task. That's exactly what was happening. The AIs were just learning how to game the test, not how to solve real messy problems.
So, to fix this, the researchers built DevII. And trust me, this is not a simple test. It's a huge set of 55 really realistic software engineering tasks with hundreds of interconnected steps and requirements. It was built from the ground up to test the entire messy, complicated problem-solving journey, not just whether the code at the end worked. Okay, so the stage is set, the judges are in place, and we have our incredibly difficult exam. It's time to see who came out on top. And boom, right away, here's the first major surprise. The human experts, the gold standard, they disagreed with each other a lot. The study found that almost 30% of the time, 2 different human experts would give 2 different grades. That just goes to show how tough and subjective these tasks are to grade, even for the pros. So if individual humans are inconsistent, the researchers compared the AIs to the group consensus of the human judges. And look at this. The new agent as a judge, the one that checked the process, aligned with the human consensus 90% of the time. That absolutely blows away the old method, which was only right about 70% of the time. Checking the process made the AI judge far more reliable. Okay, now let's talk about the cost. For 3 human experts to grade this entire benchmark, the researchers figured it would cost almost $1,300. And that's not even counting the time. We're talking over 86 hours of combined expert work.
Now, get ready for this. The agent as a judge. It did the exact same job for just over $30. Let that sink in for a second. That is a 97.6% cost saving. It's not just a little better, it's a quantum leap in efficiency, and it took less than 2 hours to do it.
But this is the real bombshell finding. The paper concludes that the agent as a judge isn't just a faster, cheaper replacement. Because it's so consistent, more consistent than any single human, it could, and I'm quoting the paper here, in fact be more useful than an average lone human evaluator. Wow. It's not just a substitute, it might actually be an upgrade. So, why is this such a big deal? I mean, faster, cheaper, more reliable grading is great, but the real implication here is so much bigger. This whole idea unlocks what the researchers call a self improving flywheel.
You see, the real magic of this agent as a judge isn't that it can spit out a grade. It's that it can provide rich, detailed step-by-step feedback. It can tell another AI exactly where it went wrong in its reasoning and why. That's the kind of targeted advice you need for genuine learning and for an AI to actually improve itself.
And this is what kicks off that flywheel effect. You build better and better AI agents. The agent as a judge gives them incredibly detailed feedback on their entire process. And then the agents use that feedback to automatically self-correct and improve. It creates this powerful, virtuous cycle. Build, judge, learn, improve. You've got AIs actively helping other AIs get smarter, which just accelerates the whole field.
Think about the journey we've been on. We went from humans teaching AIs to AIs learning from huge piles of data, and now we have a system where AIs can reliably evaluate and improve each other. This is a massive paradigm shift, and it leaves us with one pretty wild question to ponder. If AIs can do this for each other, what happens when this flywheel really starts spinning? Thanks for joining us.